It's clobbering time!
Hey, how'd you do that? How did you do that? I thought we were muted or something, dude. I'm freaking out here. How did you do that?
Okay, if you click the unmute button when you're rolling your intro, you can actually talk during the intro. Some of those times you've been on my show, it's clobbering times. It's Matt Sting out all that. Sometimes it's recorded. Sometimes I do it live.
Oh, shit. Well, I've never. Man, I'm learn something every day. Learn something new every day. Oh my goodness! I'm so honored to have you here tonight, buddy. And look who has already popped in. I can't get better than having the beautiful purple Valkyrie pop in. Thank you so much for popping in here, love. I know it's late over there. Late, or maybe early, we should say, right?
Yes, thank you, Purple.
Purple, lovely to see you. And my old friend from way back, Charles Mackworth. Hey, bud, good to see you there, my friend, as always, bro. You're just one of the good guys right there. Thanks, buddy, for popping in. And, man, I want to thank, let's see, I got so many people to thank from the other night. On Saturday, had a great crowd. I want to thank my buddy Wes who showed up. I had Loki. We had, but I don't know if you're familiar with this. Is kind of old stuff here, but familiar with the old comic books that were the oversized, large comics called Treasury editions. The big giant. I did a whole special on that the other night. I had a buddy of mine who has every single one of them ever, and he's a hardcore collector. And everyone, he was, on camera, and he was showing his collection of that and some of the really obscure stuff and some other things. And we got off into some other topics as well. And everyone really got a kick out of seeing all of his collection. A lot of his, not all, not even close to all, but a few things from his collection with that stuff. And everyone was really, really cool and enjoyed seeing his stuff. So had a fun time there. But I tell you what, before I announce the upcoming stuff, I want to thank my guest and my good pal, especially not only for that fantastic intro there that he made for me out of the goodness of his heart, and I will always appreciate that. And every time I always try to remember to make sure I give credit to you for that, bro. My good buddy Stone _ Loki. I guess that's how you say it, right?
It's just Stone Loki. Some people have said Stone.
I know. I was just kidding with you because I remember you said the other day someone had said that.
Jeremy over at Geeks and Gamers. Always say that.
I gotcha. Yeah, I was wondering. That's right. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that. But man, I am so happy to have you here with me tonight, man. Like I said, this is a kind of a tradition from my old BTR days. Is at least once or twice a week. In addition to doing a topic-related show, I would do just an open geek thing, as I called it, just open, free-flowing, just kind of whatever is out there, sort of that is geek-related, mind you. Events of the day, that kind of stuff, free-flowing convo about it. Just, and I guess the kids are calling it a chill stream these days, right?
Yes.
the cool kids are calling it that now. So I thought I would just kind of do that tonight. I'm doing it tomorrow night as well. Hopefully when my new mic shows up. This week, everyone, going to be busy. I've got tonight and tomorrow night. And of course, we are hanging out tomorrow night on your fantastic show. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, we're going to talk about all kinds of fun stuff. We're going to talk about what DC is doing and how they continue to flush their membership and their subscriber base down the toilet.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, we had I can't tell you how much fun I have on Tuesday nights. I am so indebted to you for being, you taking me in like that and being part of that crew, because it is a blast, buddy. I really enjoy it.
You know your comics, man. You're like the comic guru. I even heard and I try not to tell anybody this. I even heard you had your own comic book shop at one point.
Slanderous rumor. I didn't know these things get started. Not me, sir. No, I would never near one of those disgusting comic book stall shop thingies. Oh no. Or maybe I did. Maybe I did. I did, sir. Yes, as a matter of fact, it is a well-known rumor, a well-documented rumor. But again, have so much fun there. And of course, your show, Loki show, everyone. If you don't know about it, I don't know what you're doing with your lives. But a link to his great channel is in my description below. Of course, please go if you have not subscribed to Loki's channel. And of course, I got a lot of other links to a lot of wonderful channels down there. Well, some other great friends down there, including my retro blasting buddies and a bunch of my other friends that I've made since I have been here. So please go check those links out. And as Joe, Just Joe 47, another from the old days, another old buddy from my old BTR days. And oh yes, Purple, you'd have been a hit at my store. Absolutely, I would love to have had you there. Oh, hey, Just Joe 47. Oh, by the way, Mark with a C is here. Thank you for popping in, sir. Loki, Just Joe here is an old buddy from my BTR days as well. He's always a lot of fun, and he has from way back. And a show that my buddy Flash and I did. Flash did join me last week. He was my longtime co-host, riding shotgun with me on my open shows and all my topic shows. We used to do this thing called our top 25, where we would count down our top 25 favorites of something, whether it was Star Trek episodes, movies, movie characters. I mean, we did so much we ran out of topics.
I love that.
We had a lot of fun.
Love that.
We had a lot of fun, because you say, you're number 20, whatever it is, and you name it, you get the chance to talk about something that you love. But in this one instance, we did a show where it was the opposite. It was the other emotion, hatred. And a couple of weeks back, Just Joe came in and said, dude, it's been a long time since you guys did your most hated movies. We called it worst movies list, but it's really our most hated movies list. And now there are a lot of movies that have come out since then. It's just like 2000, maybe 14 or 15 when we did it. So this Thursday night at 9 p.m. Central, Flash is going to join me, and per request of our old buddy Jobber, and we're going to revamp our list. And again, we kind of mistakenly called it worst movies, but you don't go after low-hanging fruit like Plan 9 from Outer Space and Manos Hands of Fate, because I don't really hate those. They're bad, but so these might be movies that not necessarily are bad to some people, but we hate them. You
know what's weird? If I had to pick one to be the top of my list, it would be Last Jedi. But that brought a lot of us together, so it's like really weird that I would blame that. But that would be my worst movie. But I have so much to be thankful for about that. It brought so many of us together.
Nevertheless, it could get mentioned very highly, as a matter of fact.
The worst director of all time, J.J. Abrams, and his mystery box bullshit.
He is and back in those old days, I also used to do an annual. I would open up the year, like my first week of the year, we open up a thing we did I called the Clobberin Time annual Ball Kick Awards, and we would pick out 5 to 10 nominees who were the worst jackasses and geekdom and stuff that we wanted to give a kick right to the Well, I got so much static over that. We had fun with it.
How do you start out doing something and people are like, this guy is amazing, and then you're like, what? Wait, what just happened? They're all dead? Wait a minute. They've been dead all 7 years of this. What? And he's not going to explain it. To hell JJ.
Oh, he's the worst, man. And again, we'll see Jar Jar Abrams, my channel, my show in 2009 when I started, it wouldn't have happened without him. You talk about without the Last Jedi, there would be no Phantom Menace. Without Jar Jar Abrams and my hatred for his filthy Star Trek trash, I wouldn't have a show. I am, sometimes in life you got to admit the things that really make you crazy, even crazy to yourself. You look at yourself and go, I don't know, man, I think I'm going overboard, but I can't help it. If you have one trigger or 2 or 3, whatever, my biggest is that horrible abomination of 2009 Star Trek and what he did to Star Trek, what CBS and Paramount did to Star Trek. So that's my big. He's again, he made the top of the ball kick list every year, of course.
Well, and how do you? Okay, like again, this is so JJ. That movie sucks so bad. Yet you get like Anton Yelchin. I think that's how you say
Yelchin.
Yelchin. Yeah. Who, as soon as I saw him as Chekhov, and he's like, Victor, I'm like, oh my God, that's perfect. And then you see Carl Urban as Bones, and you're like, holy shit, he nailed it. But it's like you've got some of those people really cared about what they were doing, and then you've got JJ making that movie, and you're like, this is so weird. I like the way they're playing these characters, but the movie sucks.
Well, I'm lucky because I hated the way that even those guys played the characters, and it's unpopular to say that because I love Carl Urban. I think he's a great actor.
Yeah,
I didn't think he reminded me of D. Kelly at all. But the thing is, and a remake of Star Trek anyway, I've talked about it to death, I know. But a remake, that's Star Trek is about going forward. That show in remake is antithetical to what Star Trek is all about. And I know you can throw, what about Enterprise? Well, it wasn't a remake; it was a prequel. I love the show, and yet I still think they shouldn't have done a prequel. Multiple things can be true at the same time. I love Enterprise, and they shouldn't have done a prequel.
I agree. The first couple of seasons of Enterprise proved they shouldn't have, even though they did gain some traction at the end, and I was getting excited. I was like, holy shit, Mirror Universe. Oh my God, they're doing this. And they're connecting things to what's going to happen in TOS. Even then, I was like, no, they should have gone forward, not backwards.
And I'm one of those weirdos that love the first two seasons. We did a couple of weeks back, the wonderful Raquel Briggs and I did a whole show defending Enterprise because we've always thought it got a bad rap. And I actually do, especially going back. But even when they first came out, I've loved those first two seasons, even with some of the flaws. And it was on a good path. I was just watching before we came in here. I was watching the fourth season one just a little while ago, an episode called Daedalus.
Yeah,
about the original transporter.
Yep. About the guy who invented the transporter and what he did to his son. Yeah.
And you watch something like that and you go, you know what? That's what Star Trek is. It is so smart and it makes you think and it grabs your feelings and it gives you a whole episode that has everything in it. And it just showcases the banality of the trash that they call Star Trek now.
And who didn't love Porthos?
I love Porthos. Oh my God,
Porthos, man!
I love Porthos.
Oh, you can't have any more cheese. No, the doctor.
No cheese.
No cheese.
Just
one there.
Yeah, and then when Archer thought he was walking away to his death at the end of the Xendi War, he looked over at Hosh. He said, "Look after Porthos for me, huh? Give him a little cheese every once in a while." I love that show.
But I love it in here when it was like a pit bull. He's like, Porthos hadn't had his dinner yet, and I'm like, damn.
Oh my God, yeah. Let's see, Marcy, rewatching Enterprise now thanks to your show with Raquel, much better than I remembered. Well, I'm glad to hear that, man. A lot of people have said. I mean, look, in my life, because I'm old, everyone. I'm a senior citizen, I guess. I have been a lot of things. Not so many things that I liked that didn't like later, but a lot of things that I didn't like before in my younger life that I went back to or revisited and liked a whole lot more later. That's happened to me a lot. I know it's weird, but maybe it's not so weird. I don't know.
I ragged on that show until Archer was like, okay, unpack the phaser cannons. And then I'm like, you've had them the whole time and you just didn't install them. Seriously? Seriously, you could have had phaser cannons on your ship the whole time and you didn't. And when they blow up that moon and they're like, oh, well, we accidentally routed it through the impulse manifold. Dude. He's like, wait a minute, it shouldn't have been that strong. What the hell happened? We almost blew up the whole ship firing that thing. Oh, wow.
Exactly. Oh, man.
And then he's like, do it again. Do it again.
Yeah, of course. And buddy, here's my crappy handmade advertisement poster thingy for the hated movies show. Get ready to be triggered because there's going to be some on my list, everyone, that you go, how can you hate that? And you know what? The thing that's so geeky, my list is so geeky, Loki. I'm starting to think, man, I got to add some variety to it because most of them are freaking comic book movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of them that I can't stand. Oh my God. I guess it's because that's the thing that means the most to me when they get it right. That spoiler alert, that movie's going to be on there. That Fan Four Stick trash. What Fantastic Four fans we hear. And then, by the way, Saturday night, Carlos and I will be, because we had so much fun doing our Legion of Superheroes show a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, we're those weirdos that still love the Legion. No one else does, but we do. And we will be doing that Saturday night, our top 10 favorite Legionnaires.
So let me ask you, did you like the first movie with Michael Chiklis as Ben Grimm?
No, my take on that is I like the actor. He's a great actor, but a hardcore Fantastic Four fan will tell you that if you look at Ben Grimm, it made no sense. I mean, he made no sense for him to be kind of like a dumpy, middle-aged old man.
Yeah.
Because remember, Ben Grimm was the big man on campus, big, tall, muscle-bound athlete, test pilot, war hero. And then he turned into a lump of orange rocks. He had it all. Well, no offense to Michael Chiklis, because he looks better than me probably still. But he was not that. He was he was a great actor. I love him. As the voice, sure. But you kind of needed Ben to be that. That kind of makes more sense for the character for me.
I think they expected to get the guy he played on The Shield, because the guy he played on The Shield was kind of like that, former athlete turned cop, turned like special unit on the police force, and that's not who Michael Chiklis is.
No, not at all.
That's just Big Mackie off The Shield.
No, so Smart Steve, thanks for popping in. Now, here's one that's going to get me in trouble, by the way. The wonderful Purple Valkyrie says she really hopes Carl Urban reprises his role as Judge Dredd. He was almost perfect. I agree with the casting, but I'm going to shock you because I am a Judge Dredd fan of 40 years. I hated that movie, Dredd. Yeah. Everyone loves it. I hated it with a passion. And I know, but I love Gary Neurotic. He's fantastic. When he goes on about how much he loves it, I'm going, God, man, he'd hate what I have to say about this one, and I'm going to be destroying it.
Well, Carl Urban played a good Judge Dredd. He was in a great Judge Dredd movie.
Well, the movie has nothing to do with Judge Dredd. There's none of the dark satire, none of the weird stuff that you get from the comic book. It was just an ugly shoot 'em up and with a bunch of gore, and that's my opinion on it. I know people love it. I have a theory on why, but I don't want to get into it because people get mad at me.
No. That's the whole point, is to talk your theory. No. You know what? I liked it because I hated the Stallone one, man.
That's my theory. Yeah.
There was stuff in the Stallone one I liked, but then you've got I am the law.
The law. Stallone movie sucks, but the visuals are right. I mean, visually, it looked like Mega City 1. The lawgiver looked good. The lawmaster looked good. His outfit looked pretty good. And he was the worst casting ever. And the movie sucks because of that.
And as soon as you took the helmet off, you knew.
God.
No.
Yeah, and again, see, there's the common. And there's sometimes we have this thing, and it's kind of almost dovetails in something that's going on right now with the Phantom Menace in a way. If something is not as bad as something else, we think it's good, or it's great, or it's wonderful. Because something else was so horrible. And that's human nature, by the way.
Yep.
It's human nature. And Carl Urban, I mean, you couldn't cast him any better. Of course, he's great in everything. I mean, the guy's fantastic. I love the guy. And he's great as Dredd. And people were getting to see Dredd. They didn't care what story or quote-unquote so-called story they saw him in. You weren't having to look at Stallone's stupid face. All this crap and them trashing the character, even though the visuals were kind of on point as far as the comic book is concerned. This one, it looked like they filmed it in Detroit or something, or Chicago. It was just a block war. He was just inside of a building. And Judge Anderson really pissed me off because they made her just a normal judge, not a side judge like in the comic book.
Yep.
And that, again, I'm a comic book stickler with this stuff. I admitted it's stupid, but I didn't like the movie, and everybody, before I got to see it, I had to miss it like the first day, and I never miss stuff for the first day usually, but something was going on. And everybody, oh man, you're going to love Dredd. I know you love Dredd so much. You're going to love it. Oh man, oh my God. I'm like, wow, cool. I was looking forward to this. And then, well.
Eat recycled food. It's good for the environment. Okay for you.
And again, look, I respect people loving it. I really get it. And I joke around, but I'm like, man, look, well, like I really truly believe the mantra of, hey, love what you love, like what you like. It's, you can sit there 10 minutes trashing a movie I love, and I'm probably going to laugh. Well, really, wow, you hate it that much? Yeah, that's cool. Okay. It doesn't bother me. It used to bother me when I was a kid, but now I laugh at it. Wow, man, I liked it. I mean, I don't like this movie that much. That's pretty funny. Well, but people don't like it. People don't like that.
There are people that are going to they hate something so much that they're going to violently defend that hatred to the death. And then you've got people that are like, well, you know what? I hated the sequel trilogy of Star Wars, but I like The Mandalorian, and that's okay. Some people don't get that's okay. You can hate what JJ and Ryan did to the sequel trilogy and KK, and then watch The Mandalorian, and you know what? If you like it and it brings you that Star Wars feel, that is kick ass. So many people have forgotten that when the fandom started, everybody pretty much said, if you like this, great. We don't. And you're going to talk about it, and you're going to say you like it, and you're going to tell us why. Well, we're going to tell you why we don't. It's the exact same thing. Don't call us isms and obes and haters and Yahtzees because we don't like something.
That's the key. That's the key. And it's okay to criticize The Mandalorian. I'm critical of it in a lot of ways, and a lot of people are. And I don't think anyone should get mad at the people critical of it because I like it. But I'm generally well disposed towards it. I have some serious criticisms of it, but it's cool, and I watch it. And if I hated it, I'd still be like, yeah, if you're getting something out of it, that's cool because it's not. If you're not calling me a Nazi phobe or whatever, but Yahtzee for not liking it, then we're cool. We're always cool.
That's right.
But I do like it. Now there are a lot of people in the loose association or hashtag that calls itself the Fandom Menace that are being that don't like it, and a lot of people are being. I'm not taking a side. I'm just saying because I see Twitter, and as you know, I don't know all these people personally. I follow a lot of people I don't know, but I like their on Twit. But I like their things they post. I post them because they have similar interests, and I see some of these people. In some cases, really, really mad. I used to like the Menace, but I left it because, and then basically, it seems to me, I could be judging wrong. Seems to me a lot of them when I see that they're like, well, they don't like the Mandalorian, and I do harum but I don't like them anymore. And they're a bunch of, well, who cares if they don't like it?
Who cares?
Who cares? I mean, they're not coming into your house and stopping you from liking it, but some people are really. Again, and we're getting back to 2015, which disturbs me because when The Force Awakens came out, I hated it from the beginning. I'm not saying how great I am. There are a lot of people who liked it then, but hated it later. I hated it from get-go, and I walked out of the theater. I was pretty pissed off. And I started posting some jokes. I did not post spoilers, and I didn't say what I think about it either. But that time, my biggest presence was on Facebook, for the show and stuff. And I just started putting jokes up. Not mean jokes, just like jokes that kind of, I think the first one I put up was something like, one thing I'll say about Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, is that it was definitely filmed and showed on movie screens. And there were people like, the first couple was, oh, see, I knew it. You hated it, didn't you? I didn't say that, did I? And then a couple other people were like, I don't understand what you mean. Of course it was filmed. What does that mean? And so, like a jackass, I admit it. I'm an a-hole. And I was even more. I started putting that kind of crap for like 3 days. I wouldn't tell anyone whether I liked it or didn't. I just put stupid stuff up there, making jokes that had nothing to do with my opinion, because I started making fun of the people who were getting mad at you if you didn't like it, because I was seeing that everywhere. And I was just making fun of the people who can't stand anyone else disliking something that they like. And it got me some heat, man. And another buddy went too.
I did worse than that. I put up a meme and said, Disney can do anything as long as they don't kill off my favorite character. And I showed a picture of Kylo stabbing Han in the chest, and the look on my face is like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
God. Nice.
And I did say that.
Man.
Dude. I said that for months. I said, as long as they don't kill off Han, we're cool. They can do whatever they want. Just don't kill off Han. Don't kill off Han. And what do they do at the end of the movie? They kill off Han in the worst possible effing way.
Worst. You know, it's a little bit different if the movie had actually had some sort of a semblance of a cohesive story, introduced a couple of interesting new characters, didn't do that either, and then he dies in a blaze of glory. That's something fairly respectable. Instead of regressing his character back to the same exact thing he was before the original trilogy even started, and then making him the deadbeat dad, and he's just a bum, and they ruined his character, and then they kill him badly. I mean, it was atrocious.
And there were people that defended that. Oh, he wanted to die. He wanted to die in return. I said, no. He argued with George Lucas about going out in a blaze of glory and saving the entire rebellion. He wanted to die setting the bombs that blew up the shield generator. That's how he wanted to die.
Yeah.
That is not the same thing as just okay, stab me, son.
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't even go out the way he wanted to. So Disney didn't do him a favor.
Yeah, and of course, I think he could, with his kind of clout in 2015, I think he could have probably said, look, I'm not going to, if you're going to kill me, it's not going to be this idiotic way, but I guess he didn't care. I don't know. But it was pretty idiotic, and I wish he'd said something. But, it's, Matthew Anderson. Hey there. Hail. Thank you for popping in. Great to see you, sir.
Hail, brother.
Hail indeed. So you know what? Look, but a lot of people on this Mandalorian thing, anyone who criticizes it triggers somebody. We're back to that 2015 mentality that, which I call them the zealots. Before the last Dead Guy came out, and for the years leading up to it, but there was, at least for about a year or so, if you didn't like Force Awakens, you were not good. You were a bad person. Not even just the Istaphobe crap. You were not a Star Wars fan. What the hell do you want? All this kind of crap. A lot of us got a lot of heat over it, which I didn't care. But it was pretty. I called them the zealots, for lack of a better term. They were the Star Wars zealots. It was like a religion to a lot of people. I knew people who went to see it 10 times the first weekend. I said, "You must be insane." I do it, but Jesus.
Did they pay?
Yes, they did. Oh my God, that's a little bit of change.
They're setting up this giant thing, and then we found out when we saw Last Jedi.
Why else do you think it made all that stupid money? People were, I mean, a lot of the hardcore those first couple of weekends or whatever, they were going multiple times, and it didn't matter. It was a religion. It was going to church. It wasn't going to watch a movie for entertainment, and it was pathetic. And a lot of those people, though, will tell you to this day, though, a lot of them will say, "Yeah, I after Last Jedi, I kind of woke up even about The Force Awakens." It is not standing up the test of time with people. A lot.
Yeah, of people. If you hadn't have gotten The Last Jedi, if they had done something noble in The Last Jedi, things could have been differently. If they were actually setting up what they intended to set up, and they didn't do this Rian Johnson shit, it would be more well received than it is today. I can't go back and watch any of them now.
Oh, I can't either. I can't.
I saw Last Jedi once, and when I walked out of the theater, I was like, what in the hell did I just watch? I literally, it was like coming out with PTSD. I was just like, what did I watch? Now I'm looking at the person who went with me, and I'm like, did you like that? No, I didn't either, and I don't know what to say about that. I just don't.
I was so angry, man. I mean, again, the 2 times I walked out the most angry I've ever been at walking out of a movie, maybe a tie between The Last Dead Guy and Man of Steel. And I'm just gonna be tough to pick my number one, but I guess I'm spoiling you guys. Everyone knows which it's gonna be one of those two probably. Our friend Matthew Anderson says, I speak from firsthand experience. I was one of those people who saw The Force Awakens multiple times and defended it to the death. I was hypnotized. Well, you're not nowhere near alone in that, my friend. A lot of people will tell you the same thing. And it happened. And look, like I said, I've seen things before that I thought that happened to me. Boy, this is going way back, Loki. But I'm old, man. Again, that's my excuse for everything. That's the only perk about being old is you get to say, "I'm too old for this shit," or you get to just say, "Whoa, I'm old." That's my excuse. This is, again, unpopular opinion. And I'm doing a show soon called Unpopular Opinion, by the way, because I've realized recently I have a bunch of them. You're familiar with the film Superman 2?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, in 1978, when I went to see Superman, the movie by Richard Donner, which is one of my top 2 or 3, maybe my second favorite movie of all time after Empire Strikes Back, I saw it 18 times in the theater. And so you can imagine how excited I was to see Superman 2. And a lot of people still like it to this day, and I understand that. But I walked out really thinking in a haze and tried to convince. I lied to people to their faces. I was like a kid. I must have been like, 16, 17 years, whatever it was. And I was telling, I loved it. It was great. I would not admit I hated it, because I did hate it. But I didn't think I hated it. I said, no, and I lied to myself. And I went back and saw it we went to a night feature. So I went back the next day like 2 times where I had to realize how much I friggin' hated that movie. And still hate it. The Richard Lester ruined the Richard Donner got fired off the film. I don't know if anyone knows the story about that, but
yep.
And there was still some of the Donner stuff in there, but Richard Lester finished it and he made it a camp fest. And I goddamn hate that movie. I like the Donner cut, okay. It's pretty good. But I hated it. I hated the motherfucker.
A lot of people don't realize that the reason why that first movie was one of the most expensive, I don't remember whether it was one of the most expensive or the most expensive movie at the time.
It was. Yeah.
Was because they had already filmed in conjunction with that most of 2. So you don't just have that first movie. You've got that first movie and part 2 filmed under the same budget.
Well, that's because Ilya and Alexander Salkind, who had the movie rights, they had pulled the stunt before. Before they did Superman, there was a film they did, 2 films, I should say, they did in the 70s called The 3 Musketeers and then The 4 Musketeers. Well, they did those 2. Those, I say 2 movies. They tried to film them all at once so they could only pay everybody for one movie, make it really long, and then they chopped them into 2 movies. Well, they tried that stunt with Richard Donner and with Superman. They were trying to make Superman 1 and 2 at the same time and then only pay everybody one time. Well, Richard Donner wasn't born yesterday, even back then. And he and a lot of other people, other factors, but that was what caused Marlon Brando got pissed off. A whole bunch of them got pissed off. And so he tried to make 2 movies and pay everybody for 1. And didn't go over too well. We were like a fart in church, as they say. And that's why he had to bring in Richard Lester to finish it up. A director who had previously directed, I don't know, was it a Beatles, some of those Beatles films or something. I mean, or was it, I forgot if he did something like that. I think he did a Beatles film or something. Again, he didn't need to be doing Superman.
It's funny how the film industry, that's not the only time the film industry did something like that. I don't know how much you know about Alien 3.
A little bit. Hey, RR, good to see you, my friend. A little, but what you got?
The guy who directed that, David Fincher.
It was David Fincher, who went on to do good stuff. But
yes, all he had done is music videos. That's all he had directed at the time.
Yeah,
music videos, and the studio was running around him to get it edited and to get it cut their way instead of his way, to the point that he almost left the film industry. He was like, I don't ever want to direct anything. I don't ever want to work with Hollywood ever again because of how bad this was. And he kind of got pushed into doing more films. And that's when he was like, wow, this is a totally different experience. But Fox was railroading him the entire time that was going on. And that's because they were like, young director, doesn't have an experience. We can run the production of this film and run around him for everything we decide to do, and he won't know any better. And if you've ever seen the director's cut, if you've ever seen the Fincher cut of Alien 3 compared to what you got in the theater, it's almost a totally different movie.
Yeah. Yes, and I've never seen that, but I've heard that. I saw it in the theater one time, and I never watched the Fincher cut. I probably should watch it.
You should. Watch the Fincher cut. Check out the Fincher cut. It's worth sitting down and watching at least once because you'll be like, I don't remember this. They never explained this. You never saw the guy calling the alien a dragon. You never saw him let it loose on it's like they catch it. They literally catch it in the bowels of this prison and trap it. and this crazy ass son of a bitch inmate goes and lets it out.
Wow.
And you're like, okay, this explains so much more. It's like, why did you guys just walk away when you could have had it trapped? They didn't. They actually trapped the son of a bitch, and then this crazy ass guy goes and lets it out because he thinks it's like a god. It's a dragon.
Oh my goodness. I definitely should watch that again.
And it comes out of a bull. It doesn't come out of a damn dog. It comes out of a bull.
Wow.
An oxen with these big ass horns. And it's just a different movie. It's just a different movie. The ending's the same, the beginning's the same, but everything in the middle is different. And you're just like, wow, I have a new perspective. I could have handled this, even though I didn't like what they did to Ripley. I could have handled this. And then you find out why they got that guy, because the director that said, no, I'm not killing off Newt. No, I want Hicks back. We're not going to kill off Hicks. And they were just like, no, and no. And finally he threw up his hands and said, I don't want to do your damn movie then.
That's terrible. I guess that's what part of the reason I hated the whole movie anyway when I saw it in theater. But starting off right there with the downer about Hicks and Newt, I'm like, why would you start a movie that way? No. Why would you do that? Nobody wants to see that.
Nope.
Bad movie. It was idiotic. Mark with a C says, wanted to take my dad to see The Force Awakens. He took me to see Star Wars in '77. He loved 4. I was called Star Wars. I don't call it 4. I'm just messing with you, man. Even though he would tease me. He was fighting cancer, but when I saw Solo die, no way would I want him to see that. Yeah, I don't blame him, man. Damn, I tell you what, dude, I'm sorry about your father there, brother, but I think a lot of people will probably like that. Like, why do you want to recommend this thing to anybody? See, it's just it's the degradation of a character like Han Solo. Yeah, that's a good point, man. No, sorry to hear about that.
What do you think about that guy that was dying of leukemia and his last wish was to see Episode 7, and JJ personally showed up to do a showing for him, and his favorite character was Han Solo.
Yeah, I tell you what, as much and back when that happened, a lot of people were like, "Hey, Mr. JJ hater, what do you think of this?" I got a lot of flack for him. So look, I think it's a nice thing to do. I mean, what do you want me to do? Trash a guy doing something like that nice for somebody? That's a lovely thing to do. And I hadn't seen the movie yet, but at that point, I guess. But now, in hindsight, again, yeah, I guess a nice thing for the guy to, I don't know the guy. I hope he was okay with it, but I mean, I don't know. Did the guy ever react after that, or did we know what the guy thought? I mean, obviously, we won't know, will we?
He was almost in tears. They did there's an interview somewhere from back then, but he was almost in tears and thankful, thankful.
Yeah, thankful tear. Okay. Well, good on Jar Jar for doing that. Yeah, I have a propensity. And when anyone ever calls him JJ, I just it's Jar Jar. By the way, I have no way to prove it, but I've stated to my dying breath. He's called Jar Jar Abrams by a lot of people because of me in 2008 when I started it online. Just saying. I take credit. That's my one crowning achievement. Got back to him, by the way, right? He knows people call him that.
JJ?
He knows, yeah.
Jar Jar
Abrams. He knows people call him Jar Jar Abrams, and I take full credit. Again, I have no proof, but I still believe it. And it's probably not even true, but I still believe it anyway. So there, because I hate the guy that much. I don't hate anybody. By the way, everyone who doesn't really know me well, it's a joking thing. I don't hate any human being, even though I can think human beings are douchebags and jackasses, and I do think he is a major one and a talentless hack as well. But as far as actually, literally, just to put it out there, I don't hate people ever. I'm not in that literal sense. It's all just trying to goof around. I don't wish ill even on people like that, him or Klutzman or Chibi or any of these people. But they do destroy things I love, so screw them. Is that fair enough?
That's fair enough. Hey, RR, are you talking, which director's cut are you talking about?
Feature cut was a lot better. Yeah, just like the Blade Runner director cut. It's never good when okay, so he likes the Blade Runner director's cut better than the theatrical. Well, there are two, right?
Oh yeah, there's the director's cut and then there's the final cut.
Well, R, which one are you speaking of, sir?
Yeah, the director's cut did not have the involvement of oh my God, what's his name? The director,
Ridley Scott.
Ridley Scott. The final cut does.
Yeah, you know, you hear so many schools on that. I got a buddy of mine who's like, as I'm sure you know, a lot of people who really, really nuts for Blade Runner really love it, who will tell you he loves the opening detective narration. They say Harrison Ford hated it.
I love it. I love it.
There you go.
I wish we could get the final cut with the narration.
Wow.
Because I like the narration.
I like it. I like it too.
I like the old school detective feel of it, you know. So I'm a big Ridley Scott fan too.
Yeah, well, and again, you'll hear people. A lot of people don't like that narration, and a lot of people do. So, also in TLJ with Leia getting blown out of the Star Cruiser and then turning into Mary Poppins. Let's see, the return of the ship before the loss of life. Mace Windu's survival ability confirmed. Well, yeah, I think he's enough. Yeah, just because I like him. I don't know, I'm weird. Now, here's something I've always had a little trouble with my old buddy Mark C. My new buddy Mark C, I should say. Mark with a C, not Mark C. Mark C is a good friend of mine. He is here sometimes, but he's not here tonight. But Mark with a C says the director's cut of Daredevil is better too. Well, you can't be any worse than the theatrical version I saw personally. That's one of my most hated movies, the Ben Affleck Daredevil movie. So I guess I can actually believe that the director's cut. But can you really improve that movie? I'm skeptical that approve it. Okay, I'm going to give you that one, Mark, with a C. And if I had it available to me, maybe I would give it a shot there. Keely Chow. Hey, Keely Chow, roll Tide. And boy, your Tide rolled my Tigers this past Saturday. Well done, man. I mean, my Tigers are garbage this year anyway, but congrats to you, sir, for your Tide. And your Tide will probably win it all this year. They are, you know, even though Saban's a jerk. I'm just kidding. I know you like Saban. I'm just messing with you. You know, LSU people are supposed to hate Nick Saban. This is the way it's got to work. Let's see. Mark C says, Mark with a C. I'm sorry. I get those guys confused. They look exactly alike. They both have thing avatars. Lots of flaws. They take out the romance and add some more court scenes. Okay. Took out the romance, huh? I got you. Matthew Anderson, thank you. Thank you so much for popping and heading out. Cool, man. We really appreciate you popping in, sir. There he goes. That's Keely. Take it easy, sir. Roll Tide. Roll indeed. Hey, look who's here. Hey, old Paulie. Oh, you know. I'm sorry, I can never say Paulie without saying it like that. Hey, old Paulie, you know, hey, old. He's the man.
It's clobbering time.
Nobody says that better, brother. Thank you. Latino Slant. Paulie. Of course, go check out his fantastic channel. Follow the link below. In the description there.
You know what? I was so worried about doing that during your intro because I was like, "Oh man, I wonder if he's going to be."
Oh, come on, man! It's me, man. I thought it was. I just didn't know you could do it. I'm a dumbass with these things, man. I was like, "How the hell?" Because I'm sitting there going, "How the hell did he do that?"
It's clobbering time. Yeah.
Oh man, something that can, because I've always wanted to. Because see, on the old BTR, we had a little. There was you could play all the sound bites and stuff that you want. I don't know how to do it on here, but so I haven't loaded any sound bites. All I have is that entry you gave me there, that I, again, appreciate so much and I love. I appreciate you doing that, but I don't have like the whole soundboard like I used to. So I used to. There've been times I would do a show. Well, I just get bored and schedule one just so I could screw around with the soundboards and play music all the time because nobody did copyright strike crap there or anything, you know?
Yeah.
So I'd go in there and just play sound bites and themes and different stuff like that, you know, and did a show back in 2012. Flash and we did our top 25 movie soundtracks because you've talked about movie scores and soundtracks recently, by the way.
I love them. My vinyl collection and soundtrack. So
nice.
That ought to tell you something. I've had people ask me, why do you have like 50 soundtrack CDs and only like 20 music CDs? Because I love soundtracks.
Oh yeah, I love them, man.
Soundtracks.
And we did scores, you know. And we have this thing when we're doing these lists, like if let's say we get to number, I don't know what, 17, for example, and if we both have the same 17, go, oh my God, we have a tie for the first time tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was probably the only one where we both, our number one was exactly the same. And by the time we got into our top 5 or so, yeah, we were pretty predictable. It was almost all John Williams at that point. You know. Oh, thank you, RR. Well, we have no one to thank but this gentleman right here. That intro, Loki did a fantastic job. He did indeed. It's amazing, man. You know, it caught me in action.
I love doing stuff like that. If you catch the beginning of that Robert Meyer Burnett video, that interview we did, he was like, "That is an intro." I was like, "Thank you." I love doing that. 20 years of doing stuff like that. I love doing stuff like that.
Wow. Cool, man. Well, you do it very well. Eric K, Bachelor of the Wrenches. Hey, don't tell Eric K that I own the comic shop, because then he'll start spreading that rumor again.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, here he goes. He's going to do it. I just triggered him. Watch. He'll do it now. He always gives that right to anytime it ever comes up. He always goes after me with that one. And if he doesn't, I'll be disappointed. I'll be hurt, in fact, now, if he does not do that. You know, a little bit about what we were kind of the thing with I would just like to get your thoughts on the thing with Fandom Menace thing that we were talking about a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know. Is there something I've been seeing or whatever? Have you seen a lot of static or dissent going on? What's going on right now with that?
What is going on is you've got people that don't like The Mandalorian. Mm-hmm. You've got people who do like The Mandalorian. And the people that do like The Mandalorian are upset with the people who don't like The Mandalorian, because they're like, this is the good Star Wars you wanted and begged for, and now you're getting it and you're not happy. People who don't like The Mandalorian is like, this is not the good Star Wars we wanted. The EU was much better. This and this happened in the EU and they dealt with it so much better. This isn't what we wanted. And then you've got, well, nothing's ever going to make you happy. And it's all just, it's shit I never expected to see from inside the fandom. And people just need to take a step back and remember that when the fandom meta started, the heads of the High Council, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, Ethan Van Sciver, Jeff from World Class Bullshitters, all said, if you like it, great. We don't, and this is why, and we should not be being told we can't say why we don't like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you can say why you like The Mandalorian. You can say why you don't like The Mandalorian, but don't go calling people fucking morons or assholes or anything because they have their opinion.
Exactly. Don't attack people for their opinion. And there's the thing about that, dude. I'm just like, look, I will say that even because this is good Star Wars and it's not, and a lot of people like it, and I get them to some don't like it, and that's cool too. But whatever you think about it, I don't think if your argument is simply, look, I don't think this fixes everything, and as long as KK is there, it's, they've never apologized for all the rotten things they've done. That's fine. Multiple things can be true at the same time. You can like or dislike this show, or let's say you like it. You can like the show, and you can still admit that our problems are not solved with Disney because they didn't come out and do some things they need to do. That show in itself is not, in my opinion, a sufficient apology for all the nasty things they've done to fans. But you can still but it is a nice thing that they've done, because you can't hold that against the stuff they did. You can't hold it against Jon Favreau.
Yeah,
he went out there to make a good show. Now, look, I totally relate to fans of anything that don't like Allure and don't like when a new product comes out that they think contradicts it and doesn't do it the way they want. I think, hey, look, go after it. Don't like it, trash it. That's all fine and good. Just don't trash the people liking it. Just disagree. Have discussions or don't have discussions. Don't say don't trash each other for their opinions. And it's true, Disney hasn't made a culprit, and Disney hasn't made it up to anyone. But you can still give them credit for making this, because a lot of people would like to have seen some goodwill, some good Star Wars. And a lot of people think it is good. If you see where I'm coming from, I may not making sense, but
You're making sense. But one of the analogies I made about, especially about the Mandalorian and Favreau and Filoni in particular. Right now, Favreau, you remember the fridge? Remember Refrigerator Perry?
Yeah, I sure do.
Okay. Remember how defensive linemen, right? Remember how they used to throw him out there and they just put the running back behind
on
him?
Offense.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, Walter Payton never forgives Mike Ditka for doing that in the Super Bowl.
Yes. Okay. It's like that. Favreau is the fridge, and Filoni is Peyton, and Favreau is blocking everything that KK and the craziest are throwing at Favreau to get Favreau or Filoni to get Filoni to do what they want.
Yeah.
So he's blocking for Filoni. So Filoni right now has reign to do it and do it the way he wants to. Now, are there problems? Yes, there's always problems. There's problems with the OT. There are problems with the OT because it got handed from Lucas into Empire. Lucas wasn't directing it. It wasn't his baby at the time. He had to give input, but didn't have direct control over what was going on.
Yeah.
There have always been little problems. There are problems with the prequel trilogy. Of course, there's going to be problems with Mandalorian. It's just the nature of the way it works. But Favreau and Filoni are bringing us something we can enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's the bottom line, dude. If we're having a discussion about something, pro or con, they say you love, like, get guy, good, bad. You hate it, you like it. And it's about the content of the show in terms of you think the story's good or you think it messes up canon you don't like. That's what fans do. Then that's fantastic. And you shouldn't be mean to each other, but that's the way it should be. I like it, you don't, you like it, I don't. That's the way it should be. We're talking about the actual work, the entertainment, the art. When politics get in the way, that's when I have a problem. When you get called ists and phobes and all that kind of crap, that's the problem I have. So I have no problem with fans liking and disliking it. Nothing wrong with that. But again, like, they go overboard and they're calling each other names, like, saying they're stupid. And, people are saying, oh, Phantom Menace is just, they're never going to be happy. No, well, let them not like it if they don't like it. And you go ahead and like it. In other words, I guess I'm just saying the very simple concept. Look, agree to disagree. It's not hurting you if someone likes this show and you don't.
Yeah.
Let them have it. But they shouldn't also, at the same token, the people who love it shouldn't get mad at people who are critical of it. Because some people like it but are critical and get attacked too. It's like everyone just kind of back off, let everyone have their say. And, be live and let live about it. Isn't that just kind of am I being foolish there? I think that's the way it should be.
No, you're not being foolish at all. That's exactly the way it should be. That's why we railed against these people in the first place, because we could not give our opinion without being called an istophobe or something else. That's why I do what I do. That's why I do the show I do. That's what got me started in the first place, was I got tired of being called this, that, and the other because I didn't like JJ Trek. This goes back a lot further.
Oh, no, me too, man.
Than freaking Star Wars. I was in a Star Trek community, a huge Star Trek community. I had my own big Star Trek community. It was called SSO.
Wow.
Starfleet Special Operations. And I did videos. I did music videos. I did RP videos, which is we would role play, all kinds of stuff for Star Trek. And slowly but surely, I got pushed out because I didn't like JJ Trek. I liked the actors. I liked the job they did, but I didn't like the movie. The movie sucked, and I must have been an istphobe, Yahtzee, blah, blah, blah.
Whoa. Dude, we got to talk one day because I should tell you, I don't know if you're familiar. Did you know of a thing back when that came out called Trek Space?
Yes.
I was in the Trek Space Wars, as they call them. In fact, I got accused of starting them and over that. And the crap that happened to us and a few people that I'm, by the way, still friends with today. And it's online mostly, but I've actually met some of them too, that fought against this garbage. That, again, my show happened because of the Jar Jar Abrams filthy Star Trek reboot. I hate it. Dude, I'll admit to you, I've come to terms, I've had to admit to myself how psychotic I am about how much I hate that thing, especially the first one. And I hate it so much that when I'm you joke about being triggered, like I'm gonna be triggering people. I get triggered when I see it. I'm like, oh, it makes me so mad. I hate it because I love Star Trek so much. And dude, you and I, it sounds like we went through a lot of the same stuff. I also went through this a few years later with the DCU, Man of Steel and BVS and stuff like that. But that's neither here. That one, that's bad. That's bad blood pressure talk for me. So I have to kind of steer clear of it, buddy. But yeah, well, until Thursday night, I'm really going to talk about it a little bit. But yeah, man, people get upset, and you know what though? It never got political on that back in 09. No politics were brought into it. With my experience, it was always, you're not a good Star Trek fan if you don't support anything that CBS and Paramount Pictures, just slop out at you, and you don't lap it up. You don't just bend over and take it in the shorts, no matter what they say, and just show loyalty to the label. You're not a good Star Trek fan. That was the fight usually.
Yeah. And it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. When the reimagining of what Star Trek is, and that it's a foundation for political ideology. That is not what Star Trek is about. Did Star Trek have politics in it? Yes. When they start saying, oh, we're going to have the first ever trans character. No, that happened back in TOS. That happened in TNG. That happened in DS9. It's been there. They've done that. Alien races, different genders, asexuality, neutral genders that have no male or female. They're both. Don't give me this shit. We're doing it first, because you're not. It's been done.
Oh yeah.
For 40 freaking years, and you just have been too stupid to open your eyes and see it.
Absolutely. Dude, I had people months before that trash came out in 2009 saying things to me like, yeah, but don't you realize if we don't support it, they won't make any more? Good. Exactly. My point exactly. Don't support that garbage, because I would rather it die than see this happen to it. And that was, again, that's before politics started destroying everything. It was just remaking Star Trek was wrong, political or not, because I hate the Jar Jar Abrams movies, but they're not that political. It's STD and P Hard that are political.
Yeah.
And the SJW crap started later, but all leads to the same thing, I guess. And I don't understand these people who will really go after STD and P Hard and yet defend this horrible Abrams garbage movies. They're not Star Trek either. They're not. They're just not. And they don't count. And they're not real Trek, and they never will be. Star Trek is 1966 to 2005, in my opinion. And it's just, And again, people can like what. Again, however, I don't hate people who disagree. And there's the thing that dovetails back to where we were with the thing with the Phantom Menace. I saw some thread. I don't know the people, so I'm just, what are you going to do? There was people saying how mad they were at the Phantom Menace, and they're not a part of it anymore. They used to think they were, and every one of it was just because these people. There are certain members of the Phantom Menace that don't like the Mandalorian, but there are a lot of people in the Phantom Menace that do like it. So I'm not sure what they're whining about. Are they just whining that people don't like something they like,
or they're whining that people don't like something? It's not something I expected to see. Not the 3 years since all this started, and it's bound to happen. People are already saying hashtag fandom is dead and blah 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 blah. And
oh my god,
this bullshit. What honestly, what I wish we could see is a revisit from the High Council. Get Ethan Van Sciver, get Jeff from World Class Bullshitters, get Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, have a damn stream and talk about this. And look, this is why we're here. This is why we all got here. We never said you couldn't like this. If you like it, great. We don't, and we're going to say something about it, because we're not going to be silenced. That's what started all of this, is you need to just sit there, shut up, and while we all like something that you hate, no, we're going to talk about it. We're going to tell you why we don't like it. We're going to analyze the shit out of it, and we're going to strip it down to its foundation and say, this is why we do not like this. There is nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it.
Wrong with saying you can't do that. And the other way around, if you like it, you need to keep your mouth shut and just go along with everybody. Just that's the same problem.
Hail Mando Merc. Exactly. Again, I guess that's I know I asked it. I posed it as a question, but I also posed it as an opinion. These people that I've seen, and again, I don't know them personally, but it is a pattern in human experience and human behavior that I've seen a lot. Cardinal Sin, my good friend, good to see you. Thank you for popping in, buddy. We'll be talking soon on your thing, and that is, again, I say it over and over again. You don't like something and you're vocal about it. There's always going to be somebody that gets pissed off about it. And again, like in fact, I've always said, if you want to make an enemy, just have a critical opinion.
Yeah.
And I tell you, look, again, in my experience of all the people who've known me throughout the geek circles that I've run in, and I'm talking about, in real life, as they say, rather than just internet too. But I'm always the guy. There's the guy who hates everything. I guess he's Mikey. He hates everything. He hates everything. I get it. I'm going. I've developed a complex over it, dude. Because I'm like, do I hate everything? I ask my, because if you're capable of self-introspection, sometimes if enough people tell you one thing, you kind of go, right? I mean, not everyone does it, but I think you should be able to do that in some respects. So I was like, do I hate everything? Then I go look in the goddamn room with all the comics I have. And I go look at all the Blu-rays, the DVDs, and all this other crap, and the action figures. And I go, well, if I hate everything, why do I buy these things if I hate them?
Yep.
I must not hate everything. But here's where where that comes into play. I can spend, for example, 10 minutes tonight or whatever night talking to someone that doesn't really know me that well, for example, about something I think is just the worst garbage ever. This sucked, and going off on it, right? And then spend 2 hours talking about something I think is just the best. I love this, movie, comic book, what have you, TV show. And the person who disagreed with me on the 10 minutes of the thing that I didn't like, you hate everything. You don't like anything. You're negative.
Yep.
Well, but I just named you. Well, I've had people say. I've had people come onto my page when I have like a Baxter Building basement page, and I call it that on Facebook, where I do a lot of my show stuff. I've had guys come in and say, "Do you like anything?" And I've just got to point. No, I hate everything. Thank you. I can't argue with you. When you put a question like, "Do you like anything?" Yeah, I do like a few things. Almost every show I've done here since I've been on YouTube has been a show about something I love. I've done shows based on a whole comic book or our favorite. Mark C and I do things about things we love all the time. But because I did it like one or two shows, like we're doing this movie hate list. Oh, just wait. Good God.
I'll tell you something, and I'm not going to name any names here, but this is actually the person that's responsible for our wonderful hashtag on the shirts over in Valhalla. Glory is fleeting, except in Valhalla. And I streamed with this person a lot. I streamed with this YouTuber. I never had anything bad to say about him. He was a good guy. We did a lot of streams together on his channel, on my channel in the early days. And one day he came out with a video and he said, I have a statement to make. And that statement is, everyone that has negative things to say on YouTube needs to leave. And if you leave, we will force you out. I shit you not. He said, we will force you out. Your day is over. A new day is dawning. We are taking over YouTube. And if you will not go quietly, we will get rid of you ourselves. Nothing negative needs to be said. All negativity needs to stop. Only talk good about movies. And I sent him a message and I said, I can't stream with you. I'm sorry. I can't stream. I can't support that. I'm sorry. You just basically came out and I mean, you're talking like an SJW. And he said, what, Loki, what are you so afraid of? That you might actually have to say something good about something? I'm like, I say good about stuff all the time.
Oh my God.
We talk about things we love all the time. We also talk about things we don't. There is a balance. No, and I told him, I said, you have just gone out and said you will never say anything negative about anything. I said, you just shot yourself in the foot, man, and you don't even realize it. I said, any credibility you have when you say a movie's good is out the window because you can't say anything bad about it.
Yes, you're Kevin Smith now.
So, you trying to tell other people that they can't do that. I said, that's 10 times worse. You can't tell other people what their opinions must be. I'm sorry. I can't support you. And when I hit 1,000 subscribers, he popped into the chat and he said, Loki, glory is fleeting. And I think Josh, Project Storytime said, glory is fleeting, except in Valhalla. And I was like, holy
I love it.
I'd love it. That's our hashtag right there.
That's perfect, man.
Time, glory is fleeting, except in Valhalla.
I can't relate to anyone on a human level that can't handle critical thought or critical analysis. I mean, whether you agree with it or not. I mean, look, I have a buddy of mine who has a channel. Again, he's not necessarily part of the Fandom Menace, but he's been on World Class Bullshitters and Midnight Edge. His name is he's on. He has a channel called Retro Blasting. By the way, check it out. Any of you, if you like 80s cartoons and toys and things like that, he's a great guy. He comes on my show all the time. He's been coming on my show for many years. His name's Michael French. He gets so much heat, and he does nothing political. I mean, zero. But what he does do, Loki, is he does critical reviews. I kid you not. You probably think I'm kidding here. He does critical reviews of toys from the 80s, cartoons, toys and cartoons. Let that sink in. And he's critical of them. He believes in critical analysis, but he doesn't insult anybody. He doesn't call anybody names. He adds some humor to it, but he's brutal to Hasbro because they do a lot of crappy stuff. He gives honest opinions, and you'd think he would be. I mean, he gets as much vitriol as someone talking politics, and he doesn't talk politics because somebody sees him give a critical review to a cartoon they loved as a kid, and they get butthurt. And they give him, the heat he gets, and he doesn't like it. And he gets in fights with people, and he handles it the way he handles it. But he just believes in critical analysis and being honest about your opinion if you don't like something.
Yep.
And critical analysis is important.
Yes, it is. And why is everybody so upset with the press, with the people doing the ratings, with Rotten Tomatoes, with all of this? Is they are not being honest. They are looking past anything wrong as long as it has a certain label on it, as long as it panders enough. Hell, look at the recent Game Awards. Look at The Last of Us wins all these awards, and it's got Brie Larson out there shilling for it, and you're just like, that's one of the worst games ever made, and you just showered it with awards because it pandered to your point of view. That's all it did. It pandered to the people who give the awards. That, my friend, is not just dishonest. That is bought and paid for. You are buying people's opinion by pandering to their beliefs. You don't care about the people playing the game. All you care about is pandering to the people giving it awards and reviews. That's rigged. That is what that is called. It is rigged. It is wrong. It is rigged. It is underhanded, and they're going to have to pay for that because I won't turn to game review sites. I'll turn to YouTubers that I trust. I won't turn to game review sites. I won't trust critics. I won't trust how many awards a game gets. You can't trust that anymore. All they've done is make you live in a world where you can't trust anything they have to say about anything.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. You can't trust anybody who loves everything or hates everything for that matter. I don't know, man. I don't get it. But I love coming on here and just talking about stuff that I'm really interested in, that I really love, and going off and sharing things with people. I mean, we had a fun time the other night, Saturday night, like I mentioned to you. Just showing my friend showing his collection. People like that and stuff. It's just kind of, it's relaxing and stuff. But it's still, there's all kind of stuff that pisses me off that I hate, like STD, but I can't watch it anymore. It's bad, my blood pressure. And what's happened to Doctor Who, what's happened to Star Trek, what's happened to Star Wars. And if you can't criticize this stuff, you know, I don't know what kind of world we live in.
That's right.
And I can handle opposing opinions. If you hate something I think is great, again, like I was saying earlier, okay, who cares? You're not stopping me from liking it. So I don't know, man. We've got to find a way to get past that kind of thing, or the people who are like that. And if you're mad at the Fandom Menace, because but you're mad at them for no reason, because some do like it. A lot of people who, I guess, in that loose hashtag, the Fandom Menace, have been nothing but kind to the Mandalorian. Let's see. Polly says, I don't like anything or any of you. Well, we love you, buddy.
We love you, Polly.
Check your Twitter DM. And come on here so it can be mean to you. But Polly's the man, though. Hey, look at I forgot that's the new thing. He's got the Christmas thingy on there. Yeah. Polly hates. Cool. Yep. See, everyone, he is exposed. Polly, the Latino slant, is a hate monger. And he hates you all. And he hopes you all burn in the everlasting flames of damnation or something like that. Maybe not. That might be a little extreme. I may have kind of overstated it a little. Cardinal Sid says, Clobberin Time makes a good point. No, that's not pot. I never do. What's happened to our beloved franchises? It's heresy, and we can't shut up about it. Yeah, and you can tell. Yeah, and there's the thing. You don't have to agree with us, but we're going to talk. Yeah. So, oh man, you've made purple. You've made purple sad. Thanks a lot, Polly. What a monster.
Oh, damn.
What a bloody monster he is. You know, Smart Sleeps, you know, I miss Siskel and Ebert. You know something? I actually miss them too. Because I don't think they were shills.
No, they got it wrong sometimes. They did.
Oh, I disagree with them all the time. Dude.
Yeah.
That's the thing I was telling you about earlier. When I was very young, late teens and in my early 20s, in my adulthood in the 80s, we had this guy. We had this a local movie critic, and this thing called the fun section for Fridays, and they reviewed all the movies. And as you may remember, that was a great time for movies. I mean, there's so many great movies coming out in the 80s. A lot of great stuff. And this dude was kind of a snippy, prissy kind of a, it's just, he hated everything. And he really did. But even still, he did. I mean, he hated most of the popular stuff that we liked. And we used to get pissed off when he would review stuff and give it 2 stars instead of 5 stars, or instead of a lot of stars. Like dumbass, young kids. It made us mad. Look at this guy reviewed this, whatever. And I look back at them like, who cares? But at the time, we didn't like it. We're like, man, this guy's panning all these movies we like. But we would watch Siskel and Ebert, and they were a little bit nicer to some of the stuff. They were brutal to it. But see, they were entertaining to watch, I thought, especially when they argue with each other. It was funny.
Oh, yeah. When they went off on each other, when they disagreed. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was fun, man. It was fun. I loved it. And I thought, I never thought they were shilling. I didn't even really know what it meant back then. I really always thought they were giving me their honest opinion.
Well, it always, no matter what, from Siskel Ebert, I think they were. I really honestly feel like they were. I think that back then, that was like the duty of the show to give your honest opinion on this. We don't take money from the studio. We don't, none of that. We give our honest opinion about what we like and what we don't like. And that's something hard to find now. People that come and listen to my channel know I'm going to give it to you unfiltered how I feel about it. If I am geeking out that I like something, like with that last episode of The Mandalorian, yeah, it had problems. I had just watched it 15 minutes before we did the review. I did not do a detailed breakdown analysis of it. I watched it. I enjoyed it. I'll let you know I did. That is why I am saying I'm doing it 15 minutes after I watch it, so I can give you my unfiltered opinion right there. Just watched it, loved it. Then someone wants to come back after analyzing a scene 20 times and tell you this is why I didn't like it because of this. It's a whole different ballgame. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, was it Ebert admitted one of his worst mistakes was trashing the soundtrack? Did he trash the soundtrack of The Graduate? That's weird. He had all the good music on that. I didn't know he did that. Well, again, everyone makes mistakes and changes opinions too. A very frank discussion of the Mandalorian should be had about it. I take my thoughts on it is I liked the first season. Okay, I never went back and watched it. I don't know about you.
I had to.
Okay.
Because I was reviewing it. That was one of the first series I ever reviewed live.
Oh, okay, I got you,
Bob. So it was like one of those I had to watch it 2 or 3 times.
Okay, I didn't review it, so
I didn't like the music. I didn't like the music at the beginning.
Yeah.
Wah, 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 wah. You're like, what in the hell? Are they trying to make it sound like a Western? Who do they have? Where's the Star Wars music? But get into the end of season 1 and into season 2, and I'm like, da 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 da. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, da 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 da. I love it. I love it. It's grown on me, and I've come to love it. But that's why I like that I'm that feeling like I'm coming out of the theater, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it right then and there. I can have a detailed analysis of it later. I'm going to go over the whole second season later and on one show and talk about the whole second season and what I liked and what I didn't like. But that right out of the theater feeling, that's what I want to give people. Same thing with Star Trek. When I do the Star Trek view, we just watched it. We just watched it all together that morning. We have 10, 15 minutes to talk about what we like and what we didn't like. Some people noticed things, others didn't. And I love that. I love getting to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. That's the way to do it. That's excellent. And yeah, if you review it, you do have to pay a lot more attention to it. I like the show. I watched the first season, but I never really went back to watch it again. Maybe I should someday. I might. Again, that's not calculated. I just watched it and that was it. And I've the same way that I've been doing it this season. I think, and I like it. I think my biggest criticism of it, if I had to think of one, is this, and I'll bounce it off of you and see what you think. For me, and everyone is different in how they approach, shows that they like or whatever, right? For me, a prerequisite for me to like a TV show, movies as well, but let's just go with TV, right? Because it's episodic. For TV, there has to be at least, at a bare minimum, at least one character that I can really, really get into. One of the main characters, right? As we know, a lot of shows are ensemble casts. There are a few shows, like in my opinion, the greatest Western TV show of all time. I love old Westerns. It's called Have Gun Will Travel. It's not like Bonanza or Gunsmoke or The Virginian where they have multiple people in it. He's just one guy. It's Paladin, played by Richard Boone. He's the only character, except a slight recurring character, Playboy in there, but it's all about him. It focuses on one guy. That's kind of rare. Some shows have done it, but not many. And he's a great character. He's written so well that even in a subpar episode, he's a great character, can carry a not all that great story. That's one of the keys to making episodic television work. And so any show that I give you on my top 10, 15, or whatever list, I guarantee you there's anywhere from 1 to 4 great characters. Original Star Trek, for example. Let's just be frank about it. It's Kirk, Spock, McCoy, and Scotty. They're all wonderful characters. Nothing against Sulu or Chekhov, but they were never in it that much. They were never really fully fleshed out. They weren't used a lot. Love them to death. But it's Kirk, Spock, McCoy as the triumvirate, and then Scotty as the plus.
Yeah.
They're great characters. It's why the show is great. Would not be great if they were not great characters. No matter what you write, if you don't have characters people love, you're toast.
Yeah.
And every show I've loved has, a minimum of 1 or 2, and sometimes 3 or 4, sometimes 5. All right. The Mandalorian, you have 2 main characters. What I mean by that is, yeah, there are a lot of other people, but the 2 main guys are Mando and Grogu. Right?
You've got the wolf and the pup. Yeah.
Yeah, Lone Wolf and Cub. They are the 2, because they're in every episode. Everyone else would be called recurring characters.
Yes.
The main 2 characters in this show are thin as ice. For mystery reasons. Mando is his characterization's, I'm not going to say non-existent, but it's thin. I don't hate him. He's fine. And he does some dumb crap sometimes, and he's cool sometimes. But he's not a James T. Kirk. He's not one of these great characters at all. And he's your titular character, and he's fairly skeletal. Grogu is a mystery, an enigma, but we like him for, even though he doesn't say much, but he's still he's mostly a mystery and enigma, and it's enough. And they've had to substitute that, or they've had to take care of that by writing. They go all over the place, and the recurring characters or the characters standalone that they meet in each episode have to back them. Without them, you got nothing. You got to have something for these characters to work off of.
Yep.
And so I like the recurring characters more than them. That's a problem. I mean, it doesn't hurt the show. I like it. I like the Cara Dune character. I can't remember what the Carl Weathers' name's character was. I can't remember his name. I'm sorry. I like those two. And I like other people that have been on the show. Hell, they made an Ugnaught interesting with Nick Nolte doing the voice of all things. And I like the recurring. What's the baddie guy now? What's the oh man,
Moff Gideon.
Moff Gideon's great. So they give you enough to support it, but they're still too. It's a show without two really fleshed out characters.
Well,
main characters.
Much because you haven't. In reality, these are two miniseries. This is what you're getting. You're getting two miniseries. You got miniseries part 1. And now we got miniseries part 2. And they've cut them up into different lengths. So some are 30 minutes, some are 40 minutes, some are 45 minutes. But in reality, you have a miniseries that's played out in 2 seasons. The Mandalorian, as far as we all know, was found and taken in as a foundling by the Mandalorians. He was trained to be a Mandalorian. When we see him at the beginning of the show, he has just earned the armor he's got, and that's old armor. That is hand-me-down Beskar armor. He finds the baby. He finds Grogu. And he's like, it's connecting with him. I was a foundling. This baby can be a foundling. I take this baby in as a foundling. Just like I was taken in as a foundling. That's all he really cares about. And the only thing holding them together for that first season was that connection of I was a foundling. This kid is now a foundling. I'm going to protect the kid. Like I was protected and taken in and trained. That's all we really know about either of them.
Yeah.
Until the last couple of episodes where we find out Grogu was raised on Coruscant in the Jedi Temple and trained by some of the greatest masters the Jedi Order had ever known. That's all we know.
Yeah, we don't know much. And it's tough to build a show around the character. That's why you have to have not only all these recurring, but supporting characters are characters that are one-offs from episodes. Recurring characters are people you see fairly free. Like, for example, take Deep Space Nine. Garrick's a brilliant character. Great character.
Oh, dude.
Oh, he's so good. But he's a recurring character. He's not a main character in the sense that he's, regular on the regular cast. He's fantastic. But you don't have to have him in every episode. That's what these people are. Of course, that was when they made a lot of episodes of a series that season. So you had plenty of time to flesh people out. That's another problem with modern television and the narrative is 8 episodes ain't a lot. It's just not. I mean, this is not what we have to 15 total now or whatever, 16 total. It's tough. So I'm giving them. That's why I give them kind of a pass. It's tough to flesh out characters when you're not given any time.
No.
And they're not given the kind of time they used to be given on television.
Nope. This show should be an hour long an episode. We should add 8 hours and a lot more on backstory. Even both of them, even if they'd have showed us Grogu in the temple training in some kind of flashback, and he just kind of looks at the Mandalorian like, you can't understand me. Why am I even thinking about telling you this when you can't understand me? Would have been something, and we're not going to get that because they don't have time. We're not going to give it the time it needs. There are problems with this show, even though I like it, even though I'm like, you know what, they're giving us this show, and yeah, it's better than the sequel trilogy. It's better than what we got.
Yeah,
it doesn't. I'm not saying there aren't problems with it either.
Oh, sure, but it's fun. It's fun.
I'll listen to people's problems about it all day, and I'll either agree with them or I'll disagree with them. But you're absolutely right. If there's anything I think people can agree on is this show does not it was not given the time it needs. They need to be hour-long episodes.
Yes. And if you're gotta have a guy who doesn't take his helmet off, you better have. I don't know. That's not an easy thing to write.
No.
Absolutely. I mean, and Favreau's pretty good writer. I won't hold Iron Man 2 against him too bad because he's done a lot of good stuff, and he's a good writer, and he's trying, and they got good people making the show. It's why it's at least entertaining.
I got heat for not liking the jailbreak episode in season 1. I hated that episode. I was like, you had all the cool people that were coming in from you had
Bill Burr,
Clancy Brown from Highlander, and you don't even know it's Clancy Brown.
Right.
Big son of a bitch never talks. You've got the girl who played Tonks in the Harry Potter movies, and you can barely tell it's her. She was the Twilight. Her brother was a nobody. You had what's his name from Sons of Anarchy, the guy at the station that he was old friends with. You've got people coming in that have played really good roles, and they're on screen for all of 5 minutes, and that's it. You're not even using the resources you have in an effective way because it's wham, bam, done. And that pisses me off. When I saw that guy from Sons of Anarchy, I was like, man, Bobby was one of my favorite characters from Sons of Anarchy. And they used him for all of 5 minutes. And I'm like, that's the stupidest shit you guys could do, is have these good characters, these established actors and actresses come in that are popular in the genres they're in and barely use them. You barely use them.
Barely use them.
Excited about Cara Dune. What do we know? She's from Alderaan. She used to be a shock trooper. She got kicked out. She hates the Empire. Obviously, now you're getting a little bit more in this season, but there are still characters out there like Mayhew, which is going to be in a coming episode, which is going to be one of his Mandalorian 11s that you barely know. You've seen in one episode and you barely know. You just know he's going to be the one planning the jailbreak, and that's why the Mandalorian wants him, because that's what he does.
Yep. Yeah, man. Look, I don't know. Like I say, you hate to even say anything now with all the. If you say the slightest critical thing, some people get not here, but some people seem to get triggered about it, and
they need to let that go.
They need to let. Yeah, I've seen a couple of people who hate it. I don't get to hate it, but okay. Again, why do we care? But I just think that, and again, because I do this about characters. I'm a stickler on characters. Characters are the key to everything when it comes to TV, comics, whatever it is. Because if I'm not interested in the character, you don't have me. I'm out. But
we were talking Star Trek, that 2009. I was never sold on Chris Pine as Kirk, but that one scene when he does the Kobayashi Maru,
so bad. I hate it so much.
So bad. You hate it.
It's horrible.
I felt like this is a cocky young Kirk that's like, I just beat your game, bitch.
That's what's so stupid. That's not Kirk. The Rebel Without a Brain is not Kirk. Kirk was a stack of book with legs, as told with Gary Mitchell. That's what I'm saying. They bastardized the character of Kirk.
And that's all. But they explain that like that's what happened when his dad died.
Which didn't really happen in real Trek.
Really happened. No, he was on the Enterprise with his father when Robert April was the captain. Kirk was on the Enterprise as a young man. He wasn't Academy ready yet. I think he was like, what, 12, 13?
Well, again, it depends on where you're getting that from. It was never actually Trek episodes, but was that in the biography of James T. Kirk?
No, that was in the book on Robert.
Or one of the books.
They wrote a book on Robert April about how Kirk and his dad were on board doing a tour of the Enterprise.
Right.
Kirk saves the ship. Kirk saves the Enterprise. And it's like, this is the connection he had. Like, one day, when I get into Starfleet, one day I'm going to be the captain of this ship because I know this ship. I feel it. I feel it in me. I've got a connection with this ship. I want to be the captain of this ship one day. And he becomes the captain of the Enterprise faster than any other captain before him.
But the thing is, he served on a lot of other ships before that, unlike that horrible movie.
Yep.
He's serving of the Republic. Did you ever read the comic book Dead of Honor?
No.
Graphic novel. Chris Claremont and Adam Hughes. It was a graphic novel, literally one, not a trade paperback. It was made as a graphic novel in the late 80s. And it told the story of Kirk's origin. Again, anything not in the show, again, it's still, it's novels and comics. I know they don't count. Just like the book I bought, the biography of James Kirk, really still doesn't count.
Does it count to you?
I mean, I like it. I'm just saying it doesn't.
Matters.
I'm saying they're not, they don't canonize it in, because there actually is a canon for Trek that they just threw in the garbage, but there was one, the Star Trek Encyclopedia that was sanctioned by Roddenberry and Paramount and all that stuff when that was coming out.
Do you know what I think upsets this fandom more than anything?
What?
Canon doesn't count for shit now.
Yeah. Well, you're right.
They destroyed Star Trek canon. They destroyed Star Wars canon. You can't go by what anyone says is canon anymore. It's just good, and that alone is one giant argument. Well, this used to be canon, but it's not canon more than it never was canon, but it was canon. No.
Yeah.
What it all comes down to is, do you believe this is the way it was? I believe that the Star Wars EU is how it all happened. That anything made under Disney, even The Mandalorian, is not canon. To me, it's not canon. It's an alternate fucking universe of shit that Disney's made. What I believe is canon is Luke battling Thrawn, Luke creating the Jedi Academy, Luke teaching Mara Jade how to use the Force, Luke having a son with Mara Jade, Luke teaching his nephew and his niece the ways of the Force. And everything happens in that. That is my canon. I read through the entire EU multiple times. That is what I believe is canon. That is what I will hold canon in my mind.
I say it all the time. Head canon is the most important thing. Every fan gets to make that decision.
So anybody that says this is canon now, no, sorry. Canon's what you make it from now on. They destroyed canon.
I totally agree. And again, but I believe that, but see, again, it's kind of, I've had this happen to so many different things I loved in comics. I guess I was kind of, I don't want to say used to it. All this kind of crap, like all these things when they throw quote unquote canon in the garbage. It's like, sometimes you got to kind of take it if they contradict some stuff. For example, Roddenberry contradicted his own canon sometimes. If you look at the posters for Star Trek: The Motion Picture, which I'm one of the few that defends it and loves it, because it's the first time I really started getting into Trek. It says a 23rd century Odyssey today. It's the 23rd century all of a sudden. Although in the series it was not. In the series it was 200 years into the future, not 300.
Yep.
And they just kind of never mind. But do we care that much? Is it a big deal? I don't think so.
No.
Our buddy Doomcock, Hale Doomcock, I love him. He won't even watch First Contact or Generations. I can't blame him. Generations sucks for me. He hates the revisionism of First Contact, what he calls revisionism for the, that they did with the Vulcans being so far ahead of us and all that stuff. And they even took it to more extremes at Enterprise. Vulcans, he just thought, again, I don't know where, I'm really not sure where, other than in books, where it was laid down on the line that didn't happen. So when you add to canon, are you really retconning? Did they really retcon Zephyrin Cochrane that much? Yes, in Metamorphosis, he was Zephyrin Cochrane from Alpha Centauri. That didn't mean necessarily he wasn't on Earth originally. Hale Doomcock, indeed.
Have you ever talked to him about that?
I've heard him talk about. We talked about some stuff. I hadn't talked to him as much as you have, so no. I would love to talk to him about it.
Get on one of his Discord hangouts.
Oh yeah.
I talked to him once. I had a good conversation with him. You do know they butchered what that movie was supposed to be.
Yeah.
The script for that movie is not the same as what we got, and that's all Paramount. Nope, can't do that. Nope, can't do that. Nope, it's got to be this. If you read through that original script, you find out why the Defiant was at Earth instead of Deep Space Nine.
Because they sure don't say it. Yeah, they don't tell you.
The Defiant Worf took the Defiant to fight the Borg with the Klingons in Klingon space. The Borg attacked Romulus, the Borg attacked Kronos, and the Borg went after Earth. A cube, the main cube that's fighting the Klingons, breaks off and heads to Sector 001, heads to Earth because the Borg are breaking through the lines, and that's where the Queen is. The Queen was with the Klingon armada. Worf follows that with the Defiant, and it's damaged from the Battle of the Klingons. That's why when you see it, it's all torn up.
Yes.
That was all originally set up to be like that in the movie. So you've got this giant battle happening in the Alpha Quadrant and the Beta Quadrant between the Borg, the Federation, the Romulans, and the Klingons. And then you've got what happens at Earth. Instead of, no, just a single Borg cube and it's on. You've done that before, bitches. You've done that before. You did that in Best of Both Worlds. It didn't work. Borg aren't going to do it again. When they come, like Guinan said, they are going to come in force. And they didn't do that. They didn't do that because Paramount didn't want to pay for it. Oh, no, can't do that. You need to just have one little battle at Earth and that's it. And they changed parts of the script to get it away from the original series. Because then they've got to deal with CBS. And Paramount did not want to do that. I've got that original script. I love what's in that original script.
Nice. Good night, Purple. She's saying that she's heading out. Oh, gosh.
Good night,
very late. Good night, beautiful Purple Valkyrie. Thank you so much for stopping. I know it is so late there. Or, again, I guess the word's early, right? Early there, probably. So thank you so much. Yeah, dude, I have not read that script. Wow. I used to have, by the way, I used to have a bunch of, and still, a buddy of mine still has a bunch of unshot Trek scripts, even from the original series and stuff. I loved unshot scripts. Used to collect those. Can't get those anymore. Used to at cons. People used to sell them at cons.
Yep, I've got the original script for all 4 Lethal Weapon movies too.
No kidding! Wow, that's cool.
There was a giveaway. There was a giveaway with this company, and if you won, you got all 4 movies, the director's cut of all 4 movies. This was on VHS, by the way. That goes back, and all 4 scripts signed by the cast. And I was like, oh, screw it. I never win anything. Well, guess what happened? I got pulled in the raffle and I won the scripts signed by the cast. And that's what started my whole, I'm going to collect scripts. So I got a couple. I've got a couple put away that I really love, but
I love that. They used to, again, there were tape recorders a long time ago, I know, but they used to have at cons where a bunch of people would be selling, they had these tables full of unshot scripts. And I guess they got, there was same thing now. That used to happen. Now you can't find them. Now they used to have, up until recently, they had bootleg tables, cons now, selling bootlegs of tons of different DVDs of all kind of stuff. And they've cracked down on those now, too. I don't know if you've been to a con lately, but.
That's cons aren't what they used to be.
No, they're really just big cosplay events now. The dealers are.
And moneymakers.
Yeah, I mean. They are that, and yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, I used to, dude. I used to love those unshot scripts because you're like, man, this an episode that could have been, and wasn't, of course. So yeah,
there's always been rumors that you got about a dozen TNG episodes that were filmed and never finished. They just didn't like them. So you've got unaired episodes of TNG no one's ever seen. That are just
really,
sitting in Paramount's vault that you've never seen that they just decided to do.
That's crazy. They're sitting on a gold mine. Who wouldn't want to see that?
Yeah. Well, look at what happened with Justice League. Same thing. You've got that whole movie. You've got 6 hours of footage no one's ever seen.
Yeah. Well, you're about to get 4 hours or more.
Yeah.
Or next year or whatever. Oh man! By the way, are you gonna bother even going to see Wonder Woman?
No, I'm not going to. I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not going back to a theater. I won't. I won't give Hollywood the. I won't give Hollywood the money. I won't. If I go to a theater, it's going to be to see something I love, like The Princess Bride, or maybe an old Star Wars movie, which we'll never get because Disney won't ever let anybody play them. You'd have to hit some like Rebel movie theater no one knows about.
They did play Empire last night. I got to go see that. So. That was great. Even though it was a special edition. Ugh.
I'll go see old movies in theater. I will not see anything new. I won't support it.
I understand, but I'm gonna have to do it though because I have no choice. I'm under oath.
Well, I'll see Wonder Woman before you do. I guarantee it.
Oh, I can believe it. See, I have this lady friend of mine that we made a pact about 25 years ago when we met or whatever. She's a huge Wonder Woman fan. If you're out there listening, Tony, I love you. You crazy woman, you. And we made a pact. And we were friends been friends a long time, and it was no matter where we are. No matter how far apart we lived, if there's ever a Wonder Woman movie, we're going to have to see it on the first night together. It's the way it is. Can't get out of it. So that finally in 2017, when that came to be, we did, of course. And we're going to honor that again this Christmas, which is a dumb time to release it, or an inconvenient one for sure. And here's like a 2.5 hour running time or something crazy like that, which is kind of nuts for that kind of movie. But, whatever. It's only been, what is it, like 2 years late now? Or it seems like it.
Oh, it almost feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. I guess, I'm not really looking forward to it all that much. I don't know about you. It might be okay. People, I don't know. We're starting to see some reviews of people maybe getting a little bit too excited about it.
I know what they're going to do, and they've already said what they're going to do. Orange Man bad.
Yes, and think about that character. He's Maxwell Lord in name only. He's really more like an older character Kirby created called the Glorious Godfrey, based on sort of like Billy Graham and preachers and things like that. I don't know. They've done a lot of refilming. You don't think you think maybe they got wise and decided to cut some of that crap out and just make him just a normal, like just a huckster preacher type thing or whatever?
I don't think so.
Probably not. So that could be why it's getting the good review. Good reviews. That they don't care if the movie's any good. They say if they got plenty of Orange Man bad in there, they'll be happy. And screw them. And then I'll walk out of it trashing it and get punched in the shoulder a lot, probably. So I'm just ready for that. But, I gotta go. Oh, God. It is a shame because, I'm really not that excited about it. I'm not excited about anything coming out anymore. Is there anything you're excited about?
I like some of the way it looks. I'm
yeah.
Pretty sure I'm going to like the soundtrack. I'll probably buy the soundtrack. It's the 80s. Come on.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Look, the trailer makes it look fun, but I'm just, curious. I'm just kind of doubtful.
When I saw her catch the lightning with her lasso and she's swinging, I want Metallica's Ride the Lightning. I do. That was out then, right? That was 84. Yeah, Metallica's Ride the Lightning was out then. You just have her swinging to ride the lightning. That dude, I would have loved that. I like the way it looks. I'm just not. I know what they've done. I know what they've done because they talked about what they were going to do. It's just like with the James Bond thing. They went back and they reshot. Okay, so is the tampon in the bin scene gone? The what? I'm like, oh my God, I reported on this back in June. Doomcock knew about it and talked about it in June. Why? Because I told him. She reaches in her skirt, pulls out a tampon in front of M and throws it in the bin. Did they cut that? I hope so. That's not moral power. That's just fucking gross.
Oh my God. Yeah, so we need a James Bond. I mean, Daniel Craig's a moron. He's the one that wanted that stupid, Amy Waller-Bridge or whatever to write this goddamn thing. Yep. So screw him. He's a friggin' idiot. But I got to be honest with you. Look, I'm a James Bond freak. I don't know about you. I'm a big James Bond fan.
I am too.
I have been to see every James Bond movie since 1973 in the theater. and this will be the first time I don't go. This will be it. Because I don't like the Craig. And by the way, let's just say it wasn't going to be the political thing. I might have been done anyway, or I probably just was like, what the hell, go again, whatever. But now, to hell with them. I don't like the Craig movies for a lot of reasons. Casino Royale is a good action film or whatever. I mean, you may as well, his name may as well have been James Jones.
No. It was Bourne.
Bourne, right? Yeah.
I saw the opening where you've got the cards flying, and you see him doing the moves. I was like, it's going to be a James Bourne. It's going to be a James Bourne movie. And that's exactly what they made it into. And not Casino Royale, but Quantum of Solace sucked because of that.
So bad.
The editing sucked. The fight scene sucked. It all sucks because they were trying to make it something it wasn't. Instead of making a James Bond movie, they made Bourne. Jason.
Yeah. No, you're right. And again, it's just not only that, because I couldn't stand. And like I said, Quantum of Solace to me is a horrible film. Skyfall's better and still not that good, and The Spectre's horrible for me, in my opinion. And I've come to the conclusion of, look, something, for 30-something friggin' years, 40-something years, we didn't give two shits about James Bond's personal life. You've given us 4 straight movies about it.
Yep.
And now, you make, oh my God, you make Blofeld his stepbrother. I wanted to chew my own face off in the theater like that. You've got to be shitting me. Seriously? You stupid fucks.
Blofeld sucked.
Oh.
That movie sucked. I love that actor. I do.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Django. He was in the Inglorious Bastards. I love the actor who played him.
Great actor.
They blew it.
Oh God, I forget. Yeah, I was drawing a blank on the dude's name now, but yeah, I mean, and so again, when I saw him cast, I'm like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. Then yeah, what's that dude's name? Whatever. Okay, he was even in the Tarzan film, which I don't know if you saw that, but this, Bond is done for me, because see, those movies lack they lack the James Bond charm. James Bond is not that serious. I'm sorry. It's not that serious.
Nope.
He's out there whacking bad guys, bedding beautiful women, saving the world with a wink wink. Even the darker, far, closer to real ones still have some pretty kind of out there concepts.
Yeah. Oh, and they were funny too. I must have scared the living daylights out of her. Dude, I
love that. I love Living Daylights. I love Timothy Dalton.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. I was never a big Moore fan. He was okay. But I'm sorry. I like Connery. I did not like what's his name that was in Her Majesty's Secret Service.
Lazenby.
Yeah, I never liked him. I was back and forth with Moore. He had a couple of good movies, but I never really liked him. And then we got Dalton, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is badass!" You got Colombians chopping people off at the knees. You've got him going up against the KGB, and it was just like hell yes. But they were too dark. Okay, then we get Goldeneye, and Goldeneye is like a perfect balance. But everything after Goldeneye sucked.
It's funny because Living Daylights was written for Brosnan, but he got that phone call from when it comes to
Remington Steele,
yeah, and then he couldn't do it, and we get Dalton, and I love Living Day. I disagree with my buddy Cardinal Sin that he never got any decent writing. I think he did. I love both of his movies, but especially Living Daylights.
Yeah.
And then he leaves, and Goldeneye was written for Dalton, but they waited too long.
Yep.
And I'm not a big I don't hate Pierce Brosnan. It's just not. I mean, he's okay, and I like Goldeneye. I think it's good. But, man, I'd give it anything to have Dalton in that one.
The beginning of Goldeneye where he bungee jumps off the dam, I was like, oh, hell yes. Oh, hell yes. And then he pops into that guy's in the toilet reading a newspaper, and he's like, hello there. Pow! And just pops him. I was like, okay, it's Bond. This is Bond.
I remember getting into arguments with people about the scene where he drives the motorcycle up the cliff and then flies down to the airplane. And I'm like, well, you know why he was able to do that, right? And I said, well, why? They thought they're going to get some big, like, technical or scientific explanation. Because he's James Bond.
Yeah.
And I said, wait a minute. That's why Batman can do the shit he does. And that's why James Bond can do the shit he does. Because he's James Bond. It's called, we used to call it Batman logic. A friend of mine and I, when everyone would complain about, I can't stand when they complain about realism in superhero movies because I don't want any realism necessarily. Or anything if it's just supposed to be entertaining. And I go, it's not realistic, but that's kind of the point. He's James Bond. He can do that shit, okay? Because he's James Bond. Indiana Jones can do shit because he's Indiana Jones. And that's a movie. Don't watch a movie if you want a documentary. But I don't know, man. I just, even a Bond film, even some of the more close to the vest, like a License to Kill, or like a From Russia with Love, which is a wonderful film, and I love Live and Let Die. You know, I do love more, but I understand a lot of people don't like them. They all have something. They all have to have at least a streak of charm and wit to them, and maybe there's a slight camp element even in the more serious ones. Whereas if you drain it of all of that, you've taken the charm out, and then you just see, because all these crazy things happen to him, and he's still got this smile. He's still got this kind of, this the twinkle in the eye type thing that you see in Bond, and these, because it's not supposed to be deadly serious like a Bourne movie, and I see none of that charm. Craig's a good actor. I don't see any James Bond in his face when you can't believe him pulling off a line like Bond. James Bond. Nope. When they tried it, it was all. You can't believe him saying something shaken, not stirred, or making a other kind of wisecrack.
He didn't even really say that. He didn't even really say that when he was talking about the drink, dry martini in casino, and he's like one cup of this, one cup of that, and make sure it's shaken, or shake it. He doesn't even say shaken, not stirred. So it's been a different kind of character, and it's not been fun. Why was Skyfall good? Because it was fun.
It was fun. It was. You like Skyfall? I mean, at least they had some fun in it. But
I really like Skyfall. That's
kind of at the end. They kind of,
at the end they fucked it up. Yeah, I really like Skyfall. I did. I really liked Skyfall because they had fun with it. And there's that scene where he's kind of retired himself, where he's drinking with the Scorpion. I wanted more of that when Pierce Brosnan did the one where he gets captured by the Koreans. I wanted him to get out. The MI6 gets him back, and then he's like, no, I'm done. I got tortured. I got water tortured. I got bit by scorpions. I'm done with this shit. I'm not coming back. And then he has to come back. I would have loved for them to do it with Brosnan like that. I wish they had.
Yeah.
Didn't. They fucked it up. They fucked that up too.
I'll tell you, man, it's just such a part. It's been such a part of my life, the James Bond films. When I guess I was somewhere around in the neighborhood, I suppose, of like 9 years old. And we went to this. It was, I'll never forget it. It was when Live and Let Die, the very first Roger Moore film, was to debut, but it was on a double bill with the previous Bond film, Diamonds Are Forever. People pick on that movie a lot. I love Diamonds Are Forever. And it's, of course, so I'm a kid. I don't understand. After we go see, we watched Diamonds Are Forever. We had a great time, and we're waiting to watch. We watched the next one, and we loved it. I love Live and Let Die. Unabashedly, because a lot of people pick on it.
Live and Let Die.
Great song, man. Yeah, I love that song. But I didn't, as a kid, I didn't understand why he was two different dudes. I was like, huh? Is he the same guy? I don't get it.
Or is it just a code name? And then you get into that whole mess.
Yeah, is it a code? Oh, the hell. Yes, the hell with that. But I didn't understand changing actors, and you think I would have, because they've done that. They used to do that on TV and movies all the time. It was a weird thing. But, you mentioned Lazenby. You do know that Dalton was up for the part before Lazenby got it, but Dalton felt that he was too young because he was like 24.
I had no idea.
So was the great Patrick McGowan. He was up for the part before Sean Connery.
I know Lazenby screwed that whole mess up. When
Have
he
you ever
like a hippie to the premiere and they were like,
yes.
oh, no, no.
Have you seen the documentary about that?
Oh yeah.
About George Lazenby with the Hulu
Yep.
on Hulu? That's man, that thing's so entertaining. I'm gonna agree with my buddy Mando Mark here. I look, you know how I feel about Man of Steel and all the DCU stuff. I really like Henry Cavill. If they cast him as James Bond, start with a clean slate. He wrote, I think Henry Cavill should be 007. He's got the looks, acting chops, charisma, and he's British. He already played an American Bond type in the 2015 Man from U.N.C.L.E. And the thing is, as Napoleon Solo, I never watched that because I have a prejudice. I love the old Man from U.N.C.L.E. TV show with Robert Vaughn. Don't worry. I mean, not saying I wouldn't watch it. I just never really went after it because I love old show.
He played a wonderful agent in Mission Impossible. I was more blown away with his performance in that. Tom Cruise can suck it. I was that made me want to see another Mission Impossible movie. When I heard about how well Henry Cavill did in that movie, I was like, okay, I'll watch it. I'll give it a chance. And he kicks some ass in that movie.
I've never watched a Tom Cruise movie in my life other than Risky Business because I hate him so much. But
not even Top Gun?
No, sir. He's in it.
Oh, man.
Dude, I get so much from people. They will say, you got to watch this one. You got to watch this. And I said, so what you're saying is you're going to edit Tom Cruise out of it for me. Oh, go, don't be an asshole. Watch it.
No, I won't. I
know. I get that all the time. But so with the first Mission Impossible, when I found out, spoiler alert, that Jim Phelps is the bad guy, I know they recast him. I said, never.
Oh, dude,
never
that's
would've.
a whole show of us talking. That right there.
I love the old show
of me and you talking because he had the opportunity in the series to make off with like billions in gold bullion, and he's going to sell all his IMF agents out for like $500,000. I don't think so.
I'm glad Peter Graves didn't like it and was pissed about that. He should be. He should have been. It was garbage. Just to make another character.
The whole cast was because the whole original.
Yeah, they were.
There's a scene in that diner with the fish tank that he meets up with the CIA director. He's like, "You're in Prague? 20 minutes. Meet me there." Right. And he goes to that diner with the giant fish tank. When Tom Cruise spots all the IMF agents that were there that night, that was all supposed to be the original cast. And they all said, no, we won't do it. When they found out what they were doing, they said, no, not in a million years.
Wow. Well, they should ban all Tom Cruise movies ever anyway. I hate that little bit. Oh, I'm just kidding. I'm just being silly, folks. But yeah, I'm weird that dude. I'm a weirdo. There's certain actors I won't watch if they're in the movie, and it's just because I don't like them. And not many. I get people say, every time people say, you hate every actor. No, it's just like one or two that are on my shit list I can't stand. I can't stand Clooney. Not just because of Batman and Robin, which I did sit through because
really Clooney.
Hate Clooney. Huh? And here's the shocker for you. Can't stand DiCaprio. I know he's good, and people think he's talented and all that stuff. I can't stand the sight of him.
I think his best movie that he was ever in was Django, where he plays the plantation owner. He should have won a fucking Oscar for that. If you've never seen Django,
no.
Quentin Tarantino movie. I'm a Tarantino nut. He's my favorite director of all time, and I get shit for that too.
I like him.
When I saw him in that and I saw how he was acting, I was like, holy shit, why did he not? It's the best movie he was ever in. He should have gotten an award for it. I have not liked him in the past. I didn't like him, and of course, I fucking hated Titanic. Every copy should be burned in a giant pyre from hell. But there are other movies I didn't like him in either. One of them was like an Irish cop movie in Brooklyn or Boston. It was in Boston with Jack Nicholson, and I hated him in that. I absolutely hated him in that. I loved everybody else, but I hated him in that. Boston, rolling your eyes on the weekend. I hated him in that movie, but I loved everybody else. There's a bunch of DiCaprio shit I can't stand. But then I see him in something like that, and I'm like, son of a bitch. And there is a scene in Django where he's supposed to bring his hand down on a table, right? He breaks a plate and it slices his hand from the bottom of his palm all the way up to his finger. He never stopped acting. He even incorporated it into the scene. He's sitting there still doing his dialogue, and he like picks up a handkerchief and he's like wiping the blood off his hand, and his whole hand's covered in blood. That's real blood. Motherfucker never stopped acting. He just rolled with it. And I'm like, okay, he's got my respect for this. I don't like him, but he can fucking act.
I hear you. No, I got you. It's just a silly personal prejudice. I don't know. I don't know. I've seen things he's in. I haven't like avoided everything he's in. I got dragged to. I went on a blind date to Titanic. Yes, the kind of date you wish you were blind. I get that joke. Sure. And you know what? And part of the reason I never saw her again, well, not the entire reason, was we walked out of the movie and I hated it. And a lot of women like that thing, but yeah, I walked out going, wait a minute, why in the hell couldn't she move over like 2 inches to let him? And then I said, and she kind of laughed at that, the whole joke about him getting on the plank with her at the end out in the water. Then I said, no, I take it back. I'm glad she let the little piece of crap die. I hate him.
I was going to a job interview, and I had to wait like 4 hours, and I was like, well, I'm in the city, movie theater right across the street, might as well. Popcorn, I got my drink. About an hour in, I fell asleep. I woke back up. I went out. I got a sandwich. I came back. The boat was sinking. I fell asleep again. Woke back up, the boat was still sinking. And you're just like, what? How long? Oh, shit. I slept an hour and a half and the boat's still sinking. I'll be down.
To be fair, it's on my second most hated Cameron movie because I hate Avatar worse.
At least they got the chef right, though. The chef that goes into water, he's one of the only people that went in the water and survived. He was so drunk. He was so drunk that his blood didn't freeze.
Weird. Huh.
And he was in the water for like an hour and he didn't die.
Wow.
That's one of those, that's one of those weird things that really happened. True story, actually.
Wow.
And they incorporated that into the film, and I was like, well, at least they did their homework. I had to do this long-ass report about that. And like,
oh, really?
Eyes. And when I saw that, I was like, holy shit, they got the part with the chef right.
Oh, shite. Well, there you go. I tell you. I don't know. It's popular, though. It's popular, but man, that movie, and it did not deserve Best Picture that year.
No, and it won more. No. I think it was Lord of the Rings that beat it, wasn't it? It was Return of the King.
That was later. If I'm talking about Titanic, Titanic was 98.
Yeah.
And that's probably the only year I can think of where I saw every Best Picture nominee. Almost every one of them. And I can even name them to you. And go ahead.
That was it. It tied Ben-Hur for the most awards, and then beat it. Right? Is that, I don't know.
I think it probably is. All I know is that a far superior film that year was LA Confidential. So
yes. That
should have won. God, I love that movie. Eris says, good night, Eris. Lovely to see you. Eris. Thanks for popping in. I thought you were here. It's good to see you. Thank you so much. Oh, man. But I tell you what, dude, it is just Mando. I sent you a link thing, and Mando wanted to come in and say hi. You know Mando, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know what happened. I don't know. I don't know. You must not have. I don't know. Got it. Good swear. But well, dude, what's going on the show tomorrow? You got one for in the morning, of course. Mornings of Mischief, I'm sure, right?
I do. I haven't. You know what, dude? I have. What else I got to do? Pull up my. Now I was going to do something. I haven't even set it up yet. As soon as we're done here, I got to set up the stream and then crash.
Yeah, I understand. Like sometimes I have a. I wonder, did so-and-so have a stream this time and they're not, and I can't find them anywhere? I go, maybe they didn't schedule it yet or something. I don't know if you wait till the last minute or you wait till.
I don't. Usually I have it set up the night before. But if you don't set it up till the last minute. So Matthew McConaughey and who was it? Russell Brand recently called out Hollywood culture. And basically they're like, you know what we have to do is make like a mega centrist movement. Screw this complete liberal bullshit. It's infecting everything. It's getting infused in everything. This has to stop. We have to go back to finding a balance.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to tell me that 2020 is so messed up that Russell Brand is starting to say things that make sense?
Yes.
Wow. We are really in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty astonishing coming from him. But, well, good for him, though, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, man.
It's about time.
Yeah, that's crazy. Dude, that's and so that's basically what you'll be covering in the morning.
That's just one. Yeah, that's just one of the things. That's why I was like, what's the other topic that I was looking at? Because that's what I'll do. I'll scroll through editorials and news.
Sure.
Mandalorian news. There's gaming news, of course. We've got Cyberpunk 2077 come out, which I'm gonna play the hell out of all the end of the week. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we're gonna be playing Cyberpunk on the channel.
Oh, that's coming out. Yeah, it's coming out this weekend. Yeah, so.
Yep.
I saw a video by Az. He seems to be excited about it as well.
Oh yeah. Man. Oh yeah. Every gamer out there that loves video games, they're going nuts about this.
Okay.
So
wow, cool. Big
the lefties and the SJWs have already come out saying it's not woke enough.
Oh yes. Well, I think they should just cancel it then if it's not going to be woke. That's what it's for, right? These video games are for that, right? Yeah. No. That's what they're meant for. Oh man, and then there's tomorrow night, of course. What you got a couple things lined up, I believe.
We do. Batman artist Graham Nolan talks about how there's new VP job opening at DC, but that if he actually got the job, he'd get fired within a day because he's not woke enough.
Oh, he's definitely not woke enough. Well, he hangs out with Chuck Dixon, so that's killer, man. Yeah. So I like Graham Nolan.
Ava DuVernay. I don't know if you know who that is. If you don't, be glad you don't. Is going to develop a DC Comics adaptation for the CW. That's going to bomb.
My God! Why do they think anybody wants to see that?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But we're gonna have a really good night. We've got comic book news coming out of our backsides for tomorrow night. So. Nice,
man. Dude, I can't thank you enough for hanging out with me tonight. Anything else we need to throw out there before we get done?
Man, I've had a wonderful time.
Dude, man, I love talking to you, bro. It's fantastic. Goodness.
Love talking to you too. There is something coming. I can't talk about it. But next year. So just remember, you heard it first over in Clobberin Times. There's a big announcement. If everything plays out the way I'm hoping it does. There's gonna be a giant ass team up starting next year. So
yeah, hopefully. We like those. We like team ups, Marvel team up, Marvel 2-in-1s, and Brave and the Bold, if you will, and crossovers. We like those. It's a comic geek thing. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna start saying some, and I always hate this because I don't write them down. I forget some of the people who've popped in and out, but I want to try to remember to say goodbye to everyone here. I will be on again tomorrow night, everyone. Just make my announcements at the same time, hopefully with a new microphone. But how Amazon is, probably won't come in. I think that's how it was ordered. But I'll be doing it tomorrow night. More open talk. Mando, catch me tomorrow night, man. I sent you that link there. Maybe I think I sent it. Maybe I didn't hit the thing. I don't know. I'm sorry, buddy. But anyway, pop in tomorrow night if you want to. Anybody else who wants to. And here's the thing about that. The thing about that was, look, I'm so glad you're here because I hate going solo. But I hate asking people to be on too because, man, you do enough. All the stuff you do, I hate bugging people. So I always feel like, people think I don't want them on. It's just I don't want to bug them and take their time when they do enough stuff with their own channels. But I'm so glad you did.
I saw Clobberin Times' link out there tonight, and I was like, you know what? I'll just ask. I'm like, hey, what are you doing tonight? And
I appreciate it.
Co-host, you want someone to run with you? If you don't, it's cool. I'll be watching.
Man. Dude, anytime. Again, if you're not busy tomorrow night, same deal. Anytime you want to pop in, I'm going to love to have you because I'm going to probably be solo tomorrow night too. So, but again, but the thing is, if you're busy, that's because I get it too. So it's that. And let's see. Thursday night, everyone. Tomorrow night, open talk again. Thursday night, top 20. Well, I should say bottom, right?
Bottom.
25 most hated movies. My friend Flash and I from the old BTR days will be counting down our 25. Again, I want to be clear, not worst movies. Some of them you might think are not bad movies. A lot of people like them, but it's just a personal list. We hate these damn movies for our own dumb, silly, geeky reasons. And we're going to list them down for dedicated to my buddy Jopper. And so all of my great friends are here tonight. The wonderful and beautiful Purple Valkyrie popped in. We love you. Thank you so much. She's just awesome. She's the best.
She is.
She's amazing. And let's see, our buddy Paulie Latino Slant. Please go check out all his Loki's channel and everyone else's channel that is linked in the description below. Please.
Can I say something, Paulie?
Please, sure.
Oral mango.
Mango.
Oral mango.
Well, he already went to sleep, I think, but he might have heard that. If not, we'll tell him. And look, it's so early out there. What kind of baby goes to sleep at 10 o'clock, Paul? We're just saying. Oh man, this Polly. This, of course, my buddy Cardinal Sin. I'm gonna be we're gonna be talking soon, buddy. Of course, he's a good dude, great dude. Mando Mark popped in. Mando, dude, pop in whenever you want.
Cardinal's gonna have me on Wednesday.
Oh, cool. I'm supposed to be on with him I think I'm doing Thursday, I think. So cool. That's great, man. Appreciate that. RR, I'm always honored to see you, my friend. Again, Mando, thank you for dropping in, buddy. I sent you that link, but I'll send you one again tomorrow, man. I don't know what happened. I take my eyes off the chat sometimes, and I see stuff late. I'm sorry. Smart Steve, another cool dude who hangs out with us, and I'm just always a pleasure to see you here, my friend. Who else did we have? Eris of Chaos, the wonderful, beautiful Eris. She had to run out, but we thank her for popping in. Did I say Mark with a C already? I think I did, but I'll say it again because Mark with a C is a cool dude. And there were many others that I, of course, in my senile, I don't know. I can't remember them all, man, but they were all great. And if I missed you, curse my name, if you know my name. But thank you all for being here, everyone. I'm going to play us out with the greatest intro ever. Thanks, of course, again, this intro to the great Stu Loki. Thank you all, everyone. Have a great night. I love this intro, man.
Clobberin time!
Clobberin times, part 2. I didn't know you could do that. Hulk smash, ugly rock monster.
Hulk smash!
Well, take that in the plus, dude. Flame on.
Yeah!
I don't understand these Fantastic Four people at all. Why is he bigger than the door? I don't know. Animator. Ben's big in this one, man. And he's gone. Now he's skinny again. I know what that's from. What that one's from. Super Bro. I know what that one's from. I know what all of them are from, really. Good night, everyone. Now, you created a monster, dude. Now I'm going to be talking.